Qual è quella brutta? E qual è quella buona? Qual è buona? Perché è cattiva?
Perché è tutto nero.
Aladdin, Lady and the Tramp, Peter Pan, The Jungle Book, and Dumbo are all Disney movies I'm sure we have all grown up watching. However, these findings indicate racial and cultural stereotypes which have persisted in Disney movies throughout the years. These widespread images bring out ideas presented by Errol Henderson in Hidden in Plain Sight, Racism and International Relations Theory, where the problem of the 20th century is the problem of the color line. Throughout this short video, I contend that Disney animated movies have incorporated racial and cultural stereotypes which have been internalized in children from a young age, thereby resulting in racism on the international scale. For over 60 years, the Disney Corporation has been one of the largest media companies in the world and has served as popular entertainment for children. Today, the Disney Corporation is estimated to be worth $40 billion. Although originally released in theaters, Disney movies also become available on video where children are able to own and watch repeatedly. Theorist Taubin contends that the accumulated experience of media exposure contributes to the cultivation of a child's values, beliefs, dreams, and expectations. Therefore, the significance of mass media should not be doubted. Many analysts have come to note that until recently, depictions of families on television have been mostly white and middle class, while marginalized groups remain characterized negatively and diverse portrayals are rarely provided at all. With Disney's success in their ability to frequently produce and present animations for groups globally, it is no doubt that the corporation has a long-lasting effect on its viewers. Throughout this video, I will analyze a number of popular Disney movies where cultural or racist stereotypes have been included, which have been influential on children for years. In 1992, the animation Aladdin presented a Middle Eastern culture where a young boy vies for the love of Princess Jasmine, which included catchy songs and funny characters. However, the movie was soon frowned upon as viewers began to notice underlining racial stereotypes included. Aladdin, as a young Middle Eastern man, was homeless and well known for his stealing and lying. However, at the turning point of the movie, where he becomes recognized as the good guy, his pale skin and Caucasian features contrast to those of his enemy and bad guy Jafar, the villain, who is drawn to have darker skin, facial hair, and a more ethnic visage. Furthermore, in the opening song, Arabian Nights, the lyrics include, "Where they cut off your ear if they don't like your face, it's barbaric, but hey, it's home," which recognizes the Middle East as a barbaric and violent state. Then, in 1955's Lady and the Tramp, Sai and Am, the Siamese cats, are portrayed with stereotypical Asian speech and slanted eyes, who also play the role of the cunning and sneaky villains. Let us also take a look at the stereotypical character, the canine Pedro the Chihuahua, who has exaggerated Mexican attributes.
Achilles' heel.
Pardon me, amigo. What is this chilly heel?
In the 1953's Peter Pan, the Native Americans are drawn to have bright red skin and portrayed as mute, except for the chief, who communicates strictly in broken English. This is also supplemented with the inclusion of the song, "What Makes the Red Man Red." Throughout this scene, the children began bopping and dancing to the cultural songs. In The Jungle Book, the protagonist, Mowgli, comes across a group of monkeys who sing of their desire to become human. Critics have noted that although all the characters in the jungle speak in a British English, the monkeys are the only characters who voice the sound of African Americans. Again, let's take a closer look at this representation.
Wanna be a man, orang, you dang.
Lastly, in Disney's Dumbo, in one scene, faceless black men pitch a circus tent singing a song that include the lyrics, "We slave until we're almost dead," "Keep on working," "Pull that rope, you hairy ape," We never learn to read or write. We get our pay, and then when we do, we throw it all away. It should also be noted that throughout the movie, Black people are shown working hard in shadow in cold rain. In another scene, Dumbo comes across a group of black crows who are portrayed as lazy, with one actually being named Jim Crow, the former practice of segregation of Black people in the United States. With the recognition of these extremely racist portrayals in such popular and widely viewed animations, it becomes evident as to how racism is implemented in international relations. Henderson includes in his article, Hidden in Plain Sight, how white supremacist evolutionary theology has guided the international policies of Western states and has rationalized the white racial domination embodied in slavery, imperial conquest, colonialization, and genocide. Henderson includes that among the races, whites were assumed to possess civilization while non-whites were assumed to occupy a lower stage of development, characterized as either barbarism or savagery. This idea is significantly portrayed in the opening song of Aladdin, where the Middle East is portrayed as barbaric, and Peter Pan, where the Native Americans lack English speech, The Jungle Book, where the monkeys are characterized as black yet desire to become human, and in Dumbo, where the faceless black men sing of being enslaved. This coincides with Henderson's ideas, as the Disney movies presented throughout this video have been rather successful in hiding racial stereotypes in plain sight, which is our entertainment. Henderson argues that this orientation exemplifies the racial hierarchy epitomized in the international politics of predominantly white states. It is these Western animations created by a Western industry that has exemplified the racial hierarchy. It is the production of these animations that has further allowed generations to internalize and normalize racial stereotypes, which in the long run has allowed for racism in international relations and politics. It is with these Disney animations, which are viewed globally, that aids to the misconceptions of states and how they view other states. For example, in week 9, where we focused on Asia, as a class we discovered that they see us, the West, in a negative light, while we see much of what they do in a negative light as well. I contend that it is the implementation of racial and cultural stereotypes and inaccuracies that skew states' perception of one another and therefore allow for racism to continue to exist in international relations. Although this takes place on many levels, we must not dismiss the ability for Disney animations, of which generations of children grow up watching and re-watching, to play a role in creating biases, bigotries, and prejudiced beliefs. It is also important to note that Disney didn't come out with their first black protagonist or princess until 2009 in Princess and the Frog. Despite Disney becoming less criticized for their implementation of racial and cultural stereotypes in their movies over the years, it is still important to note that the movies presented throughout this video have not become irrelevant, disregarded, or unpopular, as they are still viewed by many children across the world. It is not until after the analysis of these Disney movies that we can strongly comprehend the experimental videos included at the beginning of this video of the children choosing between a white and a black doll in regards to which one was good, bad, pretty, and ugly. The video included a diverse range of children. Some were white, some were Hispanic, some were black, etc. However, it is noticeable that even the black and Hispanic children were pointing to the black doll, saying that that one was the ugly one, that one was the bad one, whereas all of the children agreed that the white was the pretty one and the white doll was also the good one. This goes to show how influential stereotypes can be on children, especially when embedded in their form of entertainment, such as Disney animations. To reflect back on some earlier lectures of this semester, during week 2, as a class, we discussed how racism can be depleted on the international level. A large number of our class concurred that this could be done through the use of early education and even perhaps educational and fun animations that would promote diversity. However, these ideas will not aid the issue of racism in international relations, with children continuing to watch the popular Disney animations which have been discussed earlier. So I'll leave you with a couple questions. Will you let your children grow up watching these Disney movies? And if so, how will that shape our world's future?